Welcome back, Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And before I get started, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up so I know you're enjoying the content. If not, thumbs down works as well. And if you like knife content and you're not already, hit that subscribe button. While I'm talking about that, my 7K giveaway is underway. And I was going through a lot of y'all questions, awesome questions by the way. I really appreciate all the support. One thing I noticed that over half the people who entered the giveaway aren't eligible because they're either A, not a subscriber, or B, they don't make their subscribers to where you can see them. So make sure if you want to be entered, you're a subscriber and that I can see them. Don't do it to where you make them hidden. So let's get started. Today I'm going to go through my top 5 cold steel folding knives. This was a tough one. And of course, you know, everybody's opinions will be different. But just because they didn't make the top 5 doesn't mean I don't love the knife. This is just my top 5 from the ones I own. And let's get started. First off, in the number 1 spot for me, it was pretty easy, and that is the cold steel American Lawman. I like this knife so much. I own 3 of them. One of the AUS 8 versions. This one is in S35 VN, made in Taiwan. It's nice and slim, very lightweight because it's just G10, no liners in there. As you can see, back lock, it's nice and smooth. This is easy to disengage this lock. Sometimes the cold steel triad lock is kind of tough to disengage that lock because of the pressure. I mean the spring behind it. I like how it's got a full forward finger choil, comfortable in hand. The only downside to this knife, along with all the cold steels I own, are the terrible pocket clips. They're extremely tight. The tension is way too strong. And then you have peel ply G10 coupled with that, and it's a pocket shredder. I usually change mine out. I haven't got to some of these yet, but I will eventually get them all changed out. And like I said, I own 3 of these. And the other one in S35 that I owned, I decided to make it a slicer and try my hand on a regrind. The normal edge thickness is around 23 thousandths or so behind the edge, and I ground this one down to, I think it was like 15 thousandths behind the edge, and now this thing is a nice super slicer. This is my older one, and boy is it smooth. Nice and smooth, easy to disengage, and just an awesome folder. If you're trying to decide which cold steel to get, I think this would make an excellent option. A close second place for me would be the cold steel code 4 spear point. Another, very slim, thin, lightweight aluminum scales. That's 35 VN steel. This one is very smooth as well. Let's see, I can thumb flick it out. I put a deep carry MXG gear clip on here, and makes it so much easier. I can get it underneath there now, and it's deep carry. Wish they would all come like that. The only reason this one didn't get beat out, this one didn't beat out the American Lawman, is mainly because in the wintertime, my hands are dry and it's cold, and these scales are rather slick, so my dexterity is already bad, so I didn't want to, throw this knife, out of my hands or something, or cut myself badly because of the slippery aluminum. So that's the only reason that this one got knocked out of the number 1 spot from the Lawman. And I like how the Lawman has a dedicated forward choil. This one, you could put your finger there, but that's not what it's intended for right there. So there you go. And the Lawman, you can pick it up on Amazon for around, I think, $96. The code 4 runs around, on Amazon, around $82, somewhere in that price point. Alrighty, the number 3 spot for me would have to be the cold steel AD10. I love the aesthetics of this knife. This is a beefy tank of a knife. Look how thick that back lock is right there. A pretty stout handle. Now I will say, if you have large or extra large hands, this knife might not fit well for you, but as you can see, my hands fit perfectly in this little area. That's the only bad thing about having this hook right here. If you have big old hands, it might land on that, making it really uncomfortable. This, for me, is just super comfortable. I kind of wish they would have extended this choil a little bit so I could use it as a forward choil, because I think it would have been excellent with a forward choil. Something I'll probably do later on down the road. This one's in S35 VN as well. This is my smoothest cold steel by far. I mean, super smooth. Look at that. Whoop. Awesome, awesome action. Pretty sure these are aluminum liners. Sculpted G10. As you can see, they're contoured. Really ugly clip. And super. This one is just disgustingly tight. But an awesome knife. Comfortable for me in my hands. I've done a good bit of work with this thing, and it took it like a champ. I do love also the fact that they use double lugs, because a lot of, let me show you, a lot of cold steels do this, like where you have the big lug on one side and then the non-dominant hand has that small lug. I like how they went with the full stud on the AD10. Now, just because, only because this one made it into the number 3 spot, the knife that had booted out, and I know some people are going to be like, that's my favorite knife. I understand, that's cool, this is my list. It knocked out the AD15 for me. Just mainly because the AD15 is a lot thicker behind the edge. I think my particular AD15 is 32 thousandths behind the edge. That's a thick boy. And being this one's a little bit higher, this one comes in at 25 thousandths. Not a whole lot better. They both, as long as they're sharp, they're going to cut great. But for me, this one, I had to do way too many modifications for it to be comfortable in my hands. You know, if your mileage may vary depending on, you know, how your hands are. My hands are all beat up. But I do like the Scorpion lock. It's just something neat that I don't have. I have swapped the clip on this one to a Kershaw deep carry clip. Works pretty well. The G10, even though it's aggressive to the touch, it's not aggressive. It doesn't feel bad when I'm cutting. I've done a good bit of work with this one too, just checking out that Scorpion lock. But this one is a good runner-up in the 3rd spot, but got kicked out by the AD10 for me. All right, the next one, probably one of the most comfortable in hand cold steels for me, and that is the Recon 1. For me, this is like a dedicated hunting knife. You got that beautiful clip point. Probably my favorite clip point that they do. And this handle right here, even though I'm not really big on, you know, these extra choils on most knives, but it just butter in my hands. I mean, butter. This right here, make sure I don't go forward. And then the way that this handle scoops down like that, it lets the fatigue off your hands, off the palm. And another one that's super smooth. Love the Recon 1. And the Recon 1, it's a pretty big chunk of S35 VN that's been DLC coded, just like the American Lawman. And you can get this big old boy for $97 on Amazon. That's a pretty good deal in my opinion. No liners, all G10. Just an excellent hard use or hunting knife. And the reason why this is, for me, a good hunting knife is because you give that big old blade, but you're not carrying around a big old brick in your pocket. This is not, you know, in my opinion, it's not heavy. So there you go. That's a cold steel Recon 1 clip point. Now, if you like the the Recon 1 and you didn't want to spend the $97, but you loved it altogether, a great alternative to the Recon 1 that was a runner-up in the 4th spot was the large Voyager. The Voyager comes in at $51, but instead of the S35 VN, on this one you get in the AUS 10A. which in my use so far, it's been fine. You know, it's better than OS 8. I think it's a great budget steal. I love that stonewash they do on this. This is another one that just melts in my hand, but it also has that little clip up right here. So that's why I ended up going with the large, because whenever I'd get the medium, my hand would fall in that spot and make it uncomfortable. It's got another ugly, super tight clip, but very lightweight, even lighter than the Recon. Let's see, I don't know what the actual weight on these two are, but this one has a pretty stiff back spring as well. Let's see, 5.44, but it's balanced well. And 5 points. So you're not saving a whole lot, but you know, you are saving some. But you are saving some money. $51 and $97. So fourth spot, runner up in the fourth spot. All right, in the fifth spot, and the only reason this is in the fifth spot is because it's a little big and a little too heavy for me to EDC often, but I have carried it around a few times besides doing some work with it, and that is the Cold Steel 4 Max Scout. I own the regular Scout with the G10 and the 20 CV blade, but as much as that knife costs, I think it was like $320, I just couldn't justify it, being that I would only use it every now and again. And this big old boy, same dimensions and everything, it runs $100, and you get the OS 10. I'm pretty sure you have the OS 10 on this one. You get a nice high flat grind. You got the Grivery handles, that super stout back lock, and an ugly clip as well. This one is just comfortable, and I like to get up in that choke up position. And if you want to do a little chopping, you grab it all the way back here, put a little lanyard on there, wrap it around your wrist, and you can get some good leverage with this one. But if I'm going to do some chopping, what I've grabbed the last few times that I had to do a little chopping outside, because I wanted to, I had other tools, but this one was just fun. And this is the runner up in the the fifth spot, the Cold Steel Raja 2. Like, it makes the Code 4, I mean the 4 Max look like a small knife, and the 4 Max is a beast. Let's see if I can fit. I don't think I can even fit this all the way on frame. I get close. Can I? Look at that. Look at that difference. I bought this just to put a smile on my face. I mean, even though you could carry this, I would never. But several times I had to go delimb some trees in the back, and this did a great job. It held a decent edge. I probably abused it a little bit, but you know, you can get a good grip here. You can also choke up on it. This is probably the most comfortable right here in the hammer grip, but whenever I was doing chopping, this little spot is just genius. What I do is put that finger right there, put this right here. That way I can use my wrist to get some leverage, and this recurve right here just bites into some wood. This thing is ridiculously smooth too. You got to be careful because that will guillotine you, but I can easily slow roll it out. So there you go. That is my top 5 Cold Steel folding knives. I would love to hear what your top 5 are. Which one's your favorite out of the group I've showed you. And like I said, I'm not trying to make anybody mad by saying, you know, this is my favorite, but it's just me personally. It's the ones that I enjoy the most. And, you know, I told you the reasons why I like them the most. And there you go. I think my next purchase is going to have to be if I can ever get my hands on a Demco 8020. That's a dream knife of mine. Maybe one day I'll be able to get one. And I would love a Demco 8010 as well. Just an awesome knife. All right, guys and girls, I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.